Die Zauberflöte, or The Magic Flute, is Mozart's final opera and one of his finest works. It was first produced in Vienna in 1791 and has many influences, including medieval poetry, the French novel Saithos, and has strong Freemason references such as brotherhood and free thought throughout. The Magic Flute tells the story of Tamino, a prince who must undergo a series of tests, accompanied by his goofy sidekick Papageno, in order to marry the princess Pamina. Pamina sings Ach, ich fühl's in Act 2, Scene 4, after Tamino and Papageno undertake their first trial, the trial of silence, to prove their desire to join the brotherhood and Tamino's worthiness of Pamina's hand. Pamina appears during this trial and becomes distraught when Tamino will not speak to her. Unaware that he is performing the trial of silence, she assumes he no longer loves her and describes her pain through her aria.
The text describes her feelings of hurt, loss, and abandonment. She cries about her flowing tears, how happiness has left her heart, and how she will only find peace in death if Tamino truly does not love her. Musical aspects, such as melodic contour and embellishments, mode, tempo, and accompaniment texture, contribute to one perceiving Ach, ich fühl's as a typical example of a heartbroken opera aria, by informing the listener of the character's feelings of the overwhelming amount of shock, hurt, and loss. It is important to understand that Pamina embodies all the virtues of the perfect woman during Mozart's time, and that her sole goal is to marry and submit to the guidance of her male counterparts. She is meant to depict a brotherhood-friendly femininity in her choice to stay with Sarastro and Tamino instead of returning to her mother, the queen. Her love of Tamino is her sole motivation for her choices in the opera, and so her heartbroken and distraught reaction to his apparent abandonment fits these motivations. One contributor to the sadness of Ach, ich fühl's is its firm grounding in a minor mode. The piece begins and ends in G minor and starts with a measure of eighth note G minor chords separated by eighth notes, creating a somber and broken mood. The key is then reinforced by a tonic prolongation through measure 3. This grounds the piece in the key and affirms the sadness and loss Pamina is feeling. The written tempo is andante, and this slow pace contributes to the sadness and loss felt by Pamina by drawing on the convention of slow tempo and melancholy feelings.
The texture is mostly homophonic with articulated eighth note chords, creating a slow and dirge-like sound. The melody feels exposed because of the lack of counter melodies in the accompaniment, which allows the listener to focus on the singer. This exposure brings out the vulnerability that Pamina feels at this moment and reinforces the sad feeling of loss the character is portraying. Descending contour is used throughout the aria, along with pianto, which is a descending motif of a minor second usually associated with weeping or sighing. The opening line, Ach, ich fühl's, es ist verschwunden, Ah, I know that all is ended, shows the first example of both of these. The suddenness of her hurt and pain, coupled with the descending line, reinforces the connection of heartbreak and despair. Descending contour is again used in measures 8 through 10. The phrase outlines a B-flat major chord until the final 3 notes and creates another pianto. This descent is paired with the text that describes how her heart will never again feel the bliss she felt with Tamino. The descending contour outlining a major chord and ending with a pianto could be interpreted as representing the happiness actually leaving her heart. This use of a major sound when describing the word happiness makes a powerful connection between the text and melodic contour and is an example of text painting.
The descending contour in the final phrase of the aria highlights Pamina's resignation to the loss of Tamino and her desire to no longer live. With the words Im Tode sein, or rest in death alone, the melody quickly ascends, then lingers on a fermata before descending to the leading tone. The leading tone then resolves to the tonic. The descent here plays a double role. It completes the final cadence, which provides finality to the aria, while also reinforcing Pamina's wallowing in her despair and resignation to her fate. Pamina's aria, Ach, ich fühl's, has multiple layers of features that overlap to create a powerfully heartbreaking and grievous piece. Its descending melodic contour and piantos, along with the slow tempo, minor mode, Text painting and simple homophonic accompaniment all add to the texture of Pamina's grief and sadness as she mourns the assumed lost love of Tamino.